Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3. Let's see if you guys can hear me okay. What's going on, guys? Once you guys can hear me, if you guys can go ahead and give me a thumbs up and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and check it out. So, yo, what's going on, guys? Let's see. What's going on, Mohammed? Perfect. We got Junie. Hear you good? Perfect, loud and clear. All right, perfect. All right, sounds good. So I'm going to explain to you guys. This can be very simple. You guys know what it is that I wanted to swing trade for all those that are joining us for the first time. My name is Ricky with Learn, Plan, Profit. So I would think that you guys would know that, though. I am swing trading right now. My current active position is USLV. I am trying to look for a break of pattern to see if I should cover profits, but in reality, I think that this is only just the beginning for what USLV actually has to potentially cover. Looking at, I'm at the 1 day 1 minute chart right now. Looking at the 180-day analysis, we could see that it's starting to confirm this reversal pattern, which is exactly what I wanted to see. So one of two things can happen. Obviously, it's bound to happen, and it can completely get rejected by this 180-day EMA. I think that this is going to be one of the most difficult parts for a lot of people, especially if you're already in. And it's like knowing that, it pushed up, it's confirming this reversal pattern. I'm up, right? A good amount of money. But then there's all this margin left, right? It's a little bit over 10%, all this margin that is left. And just to keep it very simple, it comes down to opportunity cost. I know that there's a lot more margin left for profit that the margin that I've already covered. Yes, it is attractive, but I want to cover that much more. So what you can do is one of two things. I'm always about covering profits, and getting back in when you're much more comfortable. So if you feel like you got in maybe not at the best price point and you want to get out now, definitely 100% an option. There's always the opportunity that you could re-enter, maybe when it breaks above $10, when it has more of a solid confirmation and actively trending up above the EMA. Again, I'm just sharing based on my experience what I would do if I was trying to be a little bit more conservative, right? My schedule today is going to be a little tight, so I'm not going to be able to have time to actually get back in. So a risk that I am taking is not actually covering profits just yet, but believing in the pattern that it's currently showing and showing that it has much more margin for profit. And because of that opportunity cost, being patient and waiting it out to see if, like, what I am risking is all the profit that I already made. If it starts to pull back, then I'm going to most likely give that back. And that's all part of it, right? So, but I understand that. And I just want to make sure that you guys all understand that as well. We have this margin of profit that we've already covered from the bounce. Now it's, do you cover now? Or do you actually still believe in the pattern, and are you patient enough to actually wait for it to perform the way that you expected it? Very simple. And that is it that I want to what I want to talk about USLV. I made a video in on YouTube talking about the pattern, why it is that I saw value, my complete breakdown, the structure, the correlation to /SI, and how I saw this starting to reverse as well. And it made a lot of sense to me. And that's why I felt comfortable holding this specific position. And it obviously is working out according to my plan. But I can still 100% be incorrect, right? It can get rejected now and then shoot all the way down to $7. And that's why I'm here as a reminder that it's not wrong to cover profits. Just a friendly reminder. That's all, right? So I want to hear what you guys have to say. Let me change this on over to live chat before I get roasted by the team. But I want to thank you guys again for your time and for tuning on in. I'm going to spend the rest of the time actually talking about stocks that you guys see value in. I'm going to be a little short on time, so I want to make sure that we cover new stocks and new patterns that haven't been spoken about already. If you've called out a couple of stocks that, I want to focus on two things: stocks that are actively trending up and ones that we have not already covered. If you want to give us a reminder on something that's actively trending up, great. Let me get through all the new stocks first, and if we have time, I'd love to cover that. But as of now, let's focus on what's actively trending up and what's confirming an uptrend pattern. What's active right now? We have today and tomorrow for this week. let's make sure that we stay very micro focused on what's actively trending up and not what can potentially trend up, because it might not actually complete the reversal by the end of the week. So again, what's actively trending up, we need to be focusing on that. I'm going to be talking very quickly about like DGAS and JNUG, and then Gush, like the normal ETFs that I talk about very quickly, and then kind of go from there. But let's see what you guys have to say. So morning, what's up guys? Good morning. Oh, amazing. Congrats, Kenny. Weekends don't make money. I agree, but there's also nothing wrong. I want to make sure that we take that into consideration. Okay, so I just want to make sure that we take into consideration that there's nothing wrong with, like, just considering the idea of what's it called, covering profits to stay green, right? Perfect, perfect. I'm actually already in it, Cheech. So I think I've actually spoken to you, if I'm not mistaken, through direct message via Discord. I think your cover picture might just be a little bit different. But yeah, I already took a position. I think I was actually live on the Learn Plan Profit. I'm pretty sure, at least I called it out when I took my original position on USLV. And that was about, I think it was not yesterday, but the day prior to that. First 1K trade on USLV, Muhammad. Let's see how this goes. I'm excited for you. I don't DM. I don't do DM. Oh, okay. There's someone that has a very similar name to you that direct messaged me via Discord. Sorry about that. Yes, that is correct. Ricky uses the 15 length EMA. Yep. Ah, I see. That's a good one. Done. Okay. Let's go ahead and check this out. So yeah, so I saw someone saying like USLV testing the 180-day EMA. Yeah, you could definitely see that on how it pushed up and then it's holding. And there's a slight resistance there, but we can see the MACD indicator still, showing signs of a potential uptrend. There's no confirmation of a complete, rejection just yet. There is signs of a potential rejection, but this is actually the closest it's ever gone to actually breaking this reversal, which is something that I find pretty attractive. Also with /SI, the reason that I'm kind of comfortable is that this is actually above the EMA and that this is actually showing signs of an uptrend pattern. So we might get a pullback confirmation on this and then continue the rally here, which then would correlate on over to USLV and why that would continue the rally as well. So yeah, great call out. Okay. So we talked about, I brought up X about 2 days ago because of the price point of where it was at, right? The price point of around $32, with the resistance at around $37, if I'm not mistaken, around $38. There's this range, and it did this ascending uptrend pattern last time. Just know that it is pretty volatile, and it has this pretty nice range that it has to cover. My goodness, that was so freaking loud. Holy crud. But yeah, it has this range to cover. It's still actively trending down. I would keep and set an alert for when it actively starts trending up above the EMA. What I would encourage you to do is, if you haven't done so already, is add it to your general watch list and then set alerts for X, and also have it maybe on a piece of paper so you could follow up with it, just so it's a little bit more relatable. Okay, so CY is trying to reverse back up. It's continuously been getting rejected by this 180-day EMA. So what we can do is, just to make sure that it actually starts actively trending up, I'm going to set my alert if it breaks above, what's it called, 1550, and just keep it that simple. So if it goes at or above 1550, I am all for it. So and then we can revisit this one. It doesn't mean that I actually have to take a position. It just means that I could revisit this one and see if it's something that I actually want to take a position on. Look at this pattern for JNUG. JNUG started to recover. It tried to break above the EMA, and it's trying to hold above it. Again, no full-on confirmation just yet. You see, it's done this before. It pushed up and then got rejected, and then it's pushed up and it might get rejected again. So the reason that I'm saying this is, if you look at the inverse ETF, We're seeing a potential bounce pattern here as this thing is still trying to actively trend up. Yes, it did hit the SMA indicator, just like we called out for a perfect resistance. Guys, again, how did I know that the SMA was going to be a potential resistance? Again, very simple. Previous patterns. You could see here that it got rejected. You could see here that it got rejected, and it was a previous support. Old support levels become new resistance levels. Very simple to understand. Also, if we look at /GC, which is the overall, what's it called, actual gold future, right? This thing is still actively trending down. And it is becoming a little bit more on the oversold side, but it's still actively trending down, which should be in favor of JDST. Right? Although JDST is still actively trending down, and so is DUST, right? If I'm not mistaken. Oh no. What the heck? Why is DUST up? That's funny. So DUST, this one's actually holding above the EMA a little bit more aggressively, and this one actually didn't touch the SMA just as nice as, but kind of similar pattern to JDST. But yeah, we could see that these are at support lines. We see that JNEG is at potential resistance. So I would like to call these like critical points. So these are ones that you want to keep on high alert and to see which one gets the confirmation of the rejection and which one gets the confirmation of the overall, what's it called? Like, bounce, right? Very simple to think about it in that perspective. So now we got DGAS and UGAS, right? So DGAS is now starting to show signs of a reversal back up. So it had this like sell-off. It's starting to show signs of a upward pattern. And why might that be? Well, if you look at /NG, I always have trouble finding this one in my watch list. I don't know why. But we could see that again. What price point was it at that it was at a previous resistance? 2.80. And again, it got rejected, and now it's actively going to be trending down. So I would wait for one of two things. It looks like the SMA line is right down here, which is, can act as a previous support, or also that 2.75 price point, which acted as a pretty solid support level as well. So I'd keep a very close eye out for that. DGAS, if I'm not mistaken, even intraday, is still pushing up above the middle VWAP and top VWAP, which I find it to be very attractive, right? Very easy to identify the low points and the high points if it confirms a bounce and how you can capitalize on that. So this one's actively trending up. That's nice to see. This one's a little bit different right now than USLV and JDST, as in they're not, although they are trying to push up, they're not actually still actively trending up intraday between the middle VWAP and top VWAP, which is the most attractive. So intraday, the one that I find the most attractive has to be right now something like DGAS, as long as it continues that pattern in between the range of the middle and top VWAP. But overall, for my swing trade pattern, I still do see a lot of value in something like USLV, although it did have, although it is pulling back a little bit. Again, just think about how much it's pushed up. There's no question that these pullbacks are going to be, that they're inevitable, right? Especially with something that's a swing trade. And I think it's very simple to see. I'm going to set a couple alerts here. But if you take a step back and you actually look at the overall pattern of when something like USLV actively starts to trend up, you could see that it takes some time for it to actually, this isn't one thing that shoots straight up, right? If you look at the previous pattern on when it shoots up, it has a couple green days, it has, then sell-offs, it has a couple green days, and it has a sell-off, a couple green days, and then it has a sell-off, a couple of green days, and then it has a sell-off, right? Very easy to understand the upward staircase pattern. So just note that it has that characteristic, not only that first time, but also here, it pushes up, sells off, 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 right? Very similar characteristic of this upward staircase pattern, and that is something that you are going to have to be comfortable with. If it's not, and there is no break of pattern just yet, it's still pushing up, you can see that based on this trend line, this was always acting as a resistance. Now we want to see if this SMA line on the 1 hour chart begins to act as a support. And if it begins to act as support and we see a bounce here and then it continues to push up, then we have the confirmation that we're showing signs of an uptrend pattern and that we're that much closer to approaching that $11 resistance. Very simple to understand that correlation. And I am done talking now. So I will shut my pie hole and let's start breaking down stocks that you guys might start seeing value in. So let's see. Oh, Ticker symbol IO. Do you guys remember this one? On the 180-day chart, the very consistent uptrend pattern, the very strong resistance at around $30 that we called out. Looks like it has earnings today, so something to watch out for. It looks like at 9 a.m. tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Yeah, because today's the 2nd. So I would watch out. It's definitely a little bit more on the overextended side. Yes, it is pushing up, but again, I wouldn't call this a very good deal. You would be betting that or hoping that it would actually continue to push up. And just based on the pattern that I see here, I think that we could all see it. There's no question that it's on, at a resistance, right, at around $30. It's not a good deal, and the only reason that we'd be buying this is in hope that it would push up based on, earnings being a catalyst. So, yeah, just kind of take that into consideration. What if you already bought into CY? Then that's just just a decision that you made. You just went in a little bit before the confirmation. It's kind of like me and when I trade USLV, or I talked about it yesterday. I tend to get in sometimes before the confirmation, which means that I just have to be so much more on high alert to see if it actually gets rejected. So if you're already in CY and you already got in when it started actively trending up, you have to take into consideration that it's been getting rejected by this EMA. So if you see it pushing up and then you see it getting rejected, then you as an investor can see like, hey, this pattern is still downtrending. That resistance is still relevant, and I'm going to most likely want to cover profits now and then revisit CY when the candles are above the EMA and then it's actually showing a reversal pattern. So again, right now I would keep a very close eye out for a potential rejection, and then if you see it, then there's nothing wrong with covering profits. Or if you see it continue to push up, then great, you got in a little bit before the overall confirmation, which is just a simple risk that you ended up taking on. So yeah. Cosmos is pie hole. Yep. I know. I want some pie too. Ticker symbol. What is this? TER. All right. Thank you, Sammy. So again, we're focusing on what's actively trending up, and this is not actively trending up. It was showing signs of an uptrend pattern. It had a huge sell-off, and I'm guessing because of earnings, it is trying to push up right now, right? But right now we're still actively trending down. What's it called? The EMA might be acting as a resistance, so I'll set my alert for the break above 35. But as of now, it's still not actively trending up, and there's a high possibility of that thing still getting rejected by that resistance. So, just something you might want to take into consideration. Looks like SI is bouncing. Yep, I did see that. So great call, Mohammed. It also looks like USLV is trying to bounce, but again, it's also very soon to tell. We're literally trying to decide the overall condition of USLV and if it's actually trending up as a swing trade within the first 30 minutes of the market open. Sometimes, it takes a lot longer than that. So that's why I'm just trying to be patient. I'm trying to not take into consideration the money I've already made on USLV and focus more on the pattern and to see if there's a break of pattern or if it's confirming my pattern. I'm just trying to focus on just long-term growth, right? Or short-term, long-term growth, right? Short-term swing trading. So, yeah. Twitter. So the curbside hope. Okay, so Twitter is actively trending up above the EMA, but do you see how this SMA line has been acting as a previous resistance? Do you guys all see that? How it previously acted as a resistance, how it previously acted as a support. So as it's pushing up right now, that's something that you want to take into consideration on, yes, if you got in down here and you're trying to sell up here, yes, it's almost like trying to buy at the resistance, right? That's not so much of a good deal. I would much rather wait till the candles are above the SMA line and it continues to push up to a more relevant pattern. So as of now, I wouldn't find this to be much of a good deal, and I still see this to be a descending pattern. So that's just what I see when breaking that down. This is actively trending down, so I'm not going to do a breakdown on that. Guys, I'm just asking if you guys can do me the biggest favor. Let's make sure that we focus on what's actively trending up. I do see that there is a potential reversal pattern, but as of now, it's not actively trending up. So again, we could keep it very simple and say, let's just wait for the reversal. Whoa. CRM, thank you for calling that out. Let's check it out. So this is showing a very similar pattern to something like Macy's. Do you guys remember this? So if we go over to Macy's and how it's showing this active uptrend pattern, this ascending uptrend pattern where it confirmed the SMA line as a support, I find these patterns to actually be very attractive. Looking at CRM, so this is Salesforce.com, and it's actively trending up with an overall resistance at around 125 first and then around 130 the next one, right? It usually does a pretty good job validating this SMA line, but unlike Macy's, this one does sometimes pulls back a little bit further than the SMA line, something that you might want to take into consideration. But as of right now, it is trying to actively trend up, and I think it does have potential to end up hitting 125, right? Which doesn't offer huge potential. It's about 2.73% just because it's a higher value stock, and then overall has of like $28 or 128, and it offers about like 5% based on previous patterns. Looking a little bit closer, volume might look that it's a little low. No, it's actually not that bad. It's just, I don't know why it's so volatile. But overall, patterns are pretty consistent. It's pretty easy to understand when you're getting in at a good buy, when you get sell for profit, or when it's a little bit overextended. So great call out. I'm going to add this one actually. I kind of like how simple this one is. Let me just make sure it's not in my watch list. So I'm going to add it to CRM. To my general watch list, and then we can go from there. So thank you again for that call out. Yeah, first hour is definitely crazy. I agree. I did, Shane, talk about oh no, this is actually /CL, and then you're talking about Gush and stuff like that. I have not broken that down. I'll do that after I finish the rest of the breakdowns. Ricky, it's my second day in LPP and I am loving it. Colton, I appreciate that. Also, guys, I wanted to give you guys an update. And I don't think you guys will even notice it. It's just going to happen like randomly. But what I'm going to be doing is, and I know that this is kind of like straying away. So what I'm going to be doing is, let's see if I could even do this. What I'm going to be doing is for the Learn Plan Profit lesson library, I'm going to be restructuring it. So I messed up with the structure when I originally came out with it. So if you go to LPP, you're going to be able to see that under like video lessons, I'm going to have everything set up in certain sections, and I have it all organized here. The mistake that I made is when I originally created the course, it was like obviously the first course that I created. In reality, I'm just going to be restructuring it so it's a little bit easier to navigate, and every video then has a title and every video has a section, and then we're going to create a table of content. So every time that I upload a new like video, then I can send you guys an update what section it is, and then you guys could always go back and then revisit it. So just keeping it very simple. And I already did that for the Flipping Wheels course. That's the buying and reselling of cars. But what I'm going to be doing for the Flipping Wheels course, because of the challenge that we're going to be hosting of guaranteeing you a first flip and your first flip within the first 60 days or your money back, is I'm going to be adding like 2 or 3 more videos really focusing on negotiation and finding the best deals, and then I'm going to publish that, and then I'm going to announce the 60-day kind of like guarantee of we're going to have a team that's going to assist you with your flips. And if that's ever something that you wanted to do, then that would kind of be the approach to take. But I just wanted to give you guys a quick little update on the course, how I'm going to be trying to upgrade, and you guys are all going to have access to it as I continue to improve the course and stuff like that. And I want you guys to know that the reason that I'm doing this is based on your guys' suggestion and encouragement in that perspective. So thank you again for that, because the more encouragement that you guys give me, the better understanding that I'll have to make it better. So this is Delta Airlines. And we could see a pretty consistent horizontal pattern. I actually like this. So it's still actively trending down. So if you do get in right now, it would be a little bit before the confirmation. But let's say you do wait after the confirmation, right? Let's say we actually wait till the EMA line starts pointing up. From around 53.50 to the resistance at around $56, it offers around 4.66% potential for profit. And again, this is ticker symbol DAL. First of all, ask yourself, do you understand this pattern? Does it make sense to you? And is it something that you think that you see value in? Second thing, is the opportunity cost worth it? For a short-term swing trade, is around 3 to 4% or 4 to 5% worth the trade. And if it is, great. If it's not, then you simply don't have to trade it. And then the last thing is, are you getting this at a good deal? If you are and you can see it based on the pattern that you understand, then great. If you don't think you're getting a good deal, then maybe you could wait for a better deal, right? Or trade a different stock. But I actually really like this one, so I'm going to add this one to my active uptrend watch list just because I want to keep a close eye, and I really like, you guys know how much I'm a fan of horizontal patterns. I find them to be very consistent and very reliable, but there's always this form of risk involved, so just make sure that you note that. Let's see what the team has to say. Sweet. I'm not too sure if it's gonna affect the change. If it's going to affect the overall progress indicator. I'll reach out to Teachable before we actually implement these changes to make sure that your current completion is still. It probably will, because I'm going to be deleting all those videos and then re-uploading the same ones, but they're viewed as potential new ones. So yeah. Oh, appreciate that, Austin. Thank you. Yeah, so there are going to be certain guidelines for the Flip and Wheels course, and in reality, it's really going to be because what my challenge is going to be is that I'm going to have a promotion on the Flip and Wheels course. It's going to be 50% off, so it's going to be like $99, like $98 or something like that, and that you will make the $100 back, and then on top of that, you'll have your first flip within the first 60 days. So I would like everyone to start with a minimum of about $1,000. In my honest opinion, if you have $3,000, that would be like the perfect amount to be getting started. And with those flips of about $3,000, I've on average, I can make anywhere from around $500 to $750. But if you're in a rush to sell it, then it would make sense on why you would try to get rid of it for maybe like, $400 or something like that. But the whole point is just encouraging people to really take the step forward and getting the ball rolling with learning how to flip cars and stuff like that and motorcycles. So that's going to be the whole point. Yeah, that's actually something that I'm going to plan on doing, Randall. How to negotiate with people and how to leverage certain things. And I love doing it. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, but for all those that follow me and that follow, my partners, right, such as Justin, who's one of my partners for TechButt Solutions, you guys must see he loves his Camaro, right? There was this Camaro that was posted, I think it was like for 24,000, something like that. It was posted for 24,000. It was a 2014 Camaro SS1LE, so it's like a sport package. And they're valued anywhere from around around 24 to $29,000 depending on mileage. This one was a super clean car and stuff like that. And Justin was able to get him down to about like I think $21,000. I told Justin that, hey, whatever I negotiate him down to, right? Because he wanted to bring me along. Whatever I negotiate him down to, I get to keep the difference from $20,000, right? I was able to negotiate and leverage a series of things, as in like certain paint, certain different cosmetic parts, all the way down to $18,000. So therefore, I built myself a $2,000 margin, and then Justin was going to pay $20,000, which is $1,000 in what he originally planned on. So he saved 1,000, I made 2,000, and then he's just about to flip it, and he's going to make $4,000 on top of what he already did to pay me off. So in total, it was like around a $6,500 margin. And again, he's been driving this car. He's been enjoying it. He's been taking pictures. He's been, having a lot of fun. And then now he gets to make money off doing it as well. I think it's a beautiful thing. Obviously, we're like car guys. And if you're not into cars, then it probably might not be something that you're into. But I absolutely love it. So I would love to, film the whole negotiation. It's just how long is it going to take to get that. So, but I'm okay with sharing it. So I'm pretty pumped about that. Yeah, I agree. So I do apologize for it being a little bit difficult to find a series of videos as of now. Team dog. I don't like a mascot. I don't know. Our house already gets dirty enough, and especially moving on to the next house, I wouldn't really. I can barely take care of myself and remind myself to eat. I can't imagine trying to take care of another like live person. So or individual, right? Or dog. I like that. So, Carl, I know it's patience has to be one of the hardest things for a lot of people to overcome, just like myself, right? But trust me, it's very important. So, I love that. Thank you again for sharing that. So, rewatching the course and picking up a series of things that you missed the first time, 100%. Uh, Kathy, thank you again for this call out. Let's go ahead and break it down. Whoa. So very low volume. Uh, I would stay away. Yeah, I would stay away. This is not something that I am comfortable trading, and it's very low volume and very low cap stock. So, did I get the right? Oh, this isn't even the right ticker. I apologize. Kathy is like, Ricky, you didn't even put in the right one. So you can see that the SMA line when it was actively trending up. So this is what I find most attractive, right? This is what I find most attractive. It was actively trending up, and the SMA line was a pretty good indicator on when you were getting in for a good deal, right? Very easy to see that. You could see when it's very overextended and when it's a little bit of a better buy, right? Right now, we're actively trending down below the SMA, and I don't find that to be very attractive. Right now, it's trying to push up, but it's been continuously getting rejected by the SMA. So how I would look at this was, okay, now it's trending up. How much range do you have until it gets rejected? It's about 6 to 7%. So instead of looking at previous resistance that were up here, I would take this into consideration as a potential resistance. So I'd keep a very close eye in the direction that the EMA line is pointing, making sure that it's still pointing up. So if you're in it, great. But then make sure that there's no break of pattern and that you understand the overall resistance that the SMA line might have. So good call out, and yeah. Oh, that's a really good margin. Francisco saying like I've made $1,200 on a flipped 3K car. That's really good. Yeah, so can we see you negotiate live? Yeah, I like that. $500 with 3K cars. I love that. Yep, flipping boats has been big right now. Jordan, and that's something that I think is very important to note, right? Because we're getting closer to the summer months, and obviously different vehicles are going to be less, attractive, and obviously during winter months and these different seasons and stuff like that. So it looks like Kara just started actively trending up. It's getting very close to this SMA line, which has previously been rejected by. So let's follow up with this one later. I actually don't like this one at all, especially because it's a therapeutics company. But I just set my alert. I must have set my alert for one of you guys. And we'll just have to follow up with it later. Just want to give you guys a quick update. Vasil saying, Ricky, I just joined the group. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. I'm in with open rolls. I need your help to buy a certain deal. And this would be huge, Anna. And that's going to be my goal, not only for people that want to learn how to buy and resell cars, but anyone. I even just want to do like a super like in-depth YouTube video, because it's like, it's not frustrating to me, right? But when I see that people go and actually buy cars like off the lot, or they don't negotiate or anything like that, just because you have the money doesn't mean that, like, I don't know, like it just doesn't make sense to me. And this might just be because I'm like pretty frugal, but I will negotiate my way to finding the best deal, and I will try to be as patient with everything. So if you're in the market for potentially buying a car for yourself, or for a loved one, or for a family member or something like that, if you know of someone, I can reassure, like I will give you the money back if you don't learn something new. That's how like much I guarantee, like that the way that I negotiate, it's not even that I have a secret or something like that. It's just leverage, and it's something that a lot of people don't understand. And I'm going to be giving you guys like 5, 10 examples on how to leverage, how to be consistent, how to make offers, and how to like psychologically like be able to motivate the seller to come down on the price, because you make up all your money when you buy the car, right? Because that's really like the margin of profit that you're building yourself. It's like, how good of a deal are you getting? And if you're in the market for buying a car or anything like that, just give me a couple days. I'm going to be hosting that promotion. I'm going to do the 50% off, and not only just that, but if I don't save you or make you $100 like in the saving, there's going to be certain things that you have to meet, right? But I will give you the $100 back. That's how much I support the whole, and it's just going to be examples of like negotiation and stuff like that. So yeah. Oh shoot. The so we got Kara right now pushing up above 310. So it's trying to trend up above the SMA. It's still showing to me a little bit overextended, but something that some of you guys might want to take into consideration. So I apologize, Ali, if the microphone is rubbing on the neck pillow. You ever coming back to the Discord voice? Yeah, we can definitely do that. Oh, sorry about that. I appreciate that. Oh, that's so cool. Thank you. G2 working in it. Yes, I do apologize for that, team. My neck pillow was bugging you guys. He said live person or individual. Yeah, like different locations will be a little bit more difficult to sell, but it still comes down to like, so you're telling me that if you don't get a really good deal, like let's say a Honda Civic normally sells for, let's say $5,000, let's say like a Honda Civic 2005, right? All sell for about $5,000 within your area. And if you're able to negotiate your way down to about $2,000, you built yourself such a large margin that you could post it for $4,000, which is much lower than any other car out there. You'll sell the car right away, right? And then you just made yourself a $2,000 margin. That's the whole thing that I'm trying to go over. Ricky just verified he's a dog person. 100%. If you guys know anything about me, and I do apologize, but I am absolutely not I'm not a pet person. Like you guys have to understand like how like anxious, not anxious I get. Like, oh, I don't even want to tell you guys the stories of like how embarrassing it is, but can you give a quick update on USLV intraday with the bear flag pattern? Yeah, let's look at it. I've been keeping my eye on it this entire time, seeing if it's holding above 970 and stuff like that. So it's trying to push back up. It started to validate this SMA line. I'm sorry, this bottom VWAP, and now it's approaching. I have my alert set up here. So what you can do is to people sometimes ask me, and I'm going to make a video a little bit more about it on like how to go through your day to day while you're swing trading, and if you guys have a busy schedule, like kind of like what my routine is. So we could see that it's actively pushing up. That's great and all, but the middle VWAP might act as a resistance. That's why I have my alert set here, so it tells me when it breaks above, and then I have another alert set here right before it actually touches the top VWAP. That was into if I wanted to take into consideration of when to cover profits and stuff like that, but I really don't have to. So let's see how we're doing so far. So it says that I'm up a little bit over 1200 as of now, and that's good and all, but really I feel like I can be up $3,000 to $4,000 on this position, and that opportunity cost is definitely worth it for me. So I'm gonna weigh out for that, and I have all my alerts set. So thank you again for the friendly reminder. QVRO. Just typed it in just like that, right? So I'm not too sure if the ticker is incorrect. Do you wear your neck pillow when you go to games? I have before. I've worn it everywhere. My roommates get very embarrassed by what I do sometimes. Oh, really appreciate that, Connie. Thank you. That's so sweet. Yep. Let's see. Let's do it. AEO. So yeah, I actually like this one. This one is showing again this is American Eagle. It's showing a very consistent uptrend pattern. And these are the patterns that I find very easy to capitalize on once they receive a confirmation. So this is an ascending uptrend pattern, and we can see that multiple times it reacts very well to this SMA line. Please understand how important it is to wait for the confirmation. It looks like it's trying to confirm a bounce here right around $20, which is great. But again, it's still actively trending down and it's coming from a pretty aggressive sell-off, right? So let's take into consideration that it still can continue to sell off and that we would want to wait for a little bit more of a reversal, more of a confirmation. You could wait maybe for the buy signal of the MACD, something to confirm more of an uptrend or the break above the EMA. I love the margin that this thing has to offer. I'm actually going to add this one to my watch list just to make sure if I don't have it already, and I don't think I do. So AEO. I think that this is a great call out, something that's pretty conservative and very attractive for a lot of people that are just trying to find something that is continuously growing and that they could identify good buy points, again, close to the SMA when it confirms the bounce, and good sell points when it shows to be a little bit more overextended. So my computer is burning my leg. Oh, I'm going to use my neck pillow now for that. So I hope you guys can still see me. Definitely, there's a series of things that go into flipping cars, right? Like the maintenance and stuff like that, and how to check out for that. So doing like your the PPI inspection and stuff like that, and that's all covered in the course though. See, no, when it started to reverse back up, I started to take more position, a little bit of a larger position when it started to reverse back up. So KEM, Julian, let's check that out. Okay, yeah, yep, very consistent horizontal pattern. Just watch out for the earnings. Take that into consideration. It's confirming the same support that it's done multiple times. Again, we find that very attractive, and it's starting to push back up. Actually, I really like this one. I'm going to add this one to my watch list. Thank you again for reminding me of this one. And again, it has the potential from $17 all the way up to $19. It's actively trending up. If you understand the pattern, great. If you don't take a position. The range that it still has left to cover is about almost a little bit under 7% if you sell exactly right at the $19 price point. The MACD indicator is starting to point back up. The RSI is starting to point back up. We can see that intraday it should be above the middle and top view up. Yep, there we go. And yeah, I mean, I love the pattern. So again, we're focusing on what's actively trending up. And that's something like KEM, right? And I really like that pattern. So great call out. Yeah, that is definitely something that I have that for my Fidelity account. I don't have that for my to the Ameritrade account though. And again, you guys saw that like I saw KEM actively trending up on the 180-day chart. And for a lot of people that ask, okay, like how do I know when to get in for a good buy? Do I get in right now and stuff like that? It would be the answer would be no. Like something that I would kind of wait out for is I could see that it's a little bit overextended intraday, so I would wait for a sell-off and a potential bounce at either the EMA or the middle view up, just to get a better understanding that not only am I getting in at a good buy for my swing trade, but intraday that I'm ensuring that I'm getting in for a good buy as well. So just food for thought on that. Amazing, Carl. I like that. So USO, it's an ETF. Okay, that's pretty low volume, but not a huge influence. So USLV just broke above 980. Great. I would, and this is just my opinion, Carl. USO is actually actively trending down. So I hope that you still don't have a position. I do see why it is that you do see value in this. It has a very consistent pattern, but do you see this curling pattern, right, that we like to see? I would wait for the break below 1350, and then it tends to sell off, get rejected, and then it begins to bounce close to or near to the SMA. I think that this is a great one. I should have it in my, I don't. I'm going to add this to my watch list. And I'm also going to set an alert when it gets a little bit closer to my SMA line. So just food for thought on why I'm going to wait out for that and wait for it to be a little bit more. So I like the pattern. I understand it. I like the margin that it has to offer, right? I find that to be very attractive as it continues to make new highs. But then I also, the last step, want to make sure that I'm getting in at a good deal. And that's why I'm going to be waiting for that. So all right, guys, I am done doing breakdowns. So yeah, because we're already approaching the 1 hour mark. So I'm going to be done doing breakdowns, so please no more callouts if that's okay for me to ask. And I'm just going to finish. It's okay. So Octavia Smith, so I wanted to trade USLV, but I didn't understand the pattern. I hope I don't regret it later. And there's no regret about that. All it means is that you have to dedicate a little bit more time and become more familiar with those patterns. And again, we have nothing but time. Just because I'm making money right now, right, or a series of people are making money right now, don't let that encourage you or be the encouragement to actually take positions. I love what it is that you're doing, and you're not taking positions based on the understanding of you not fully understanding that pattern. So with that being said, take a step back. You're doing a great job, and um, wait until you actually understand the pattern, because that's when it's going to be the most attractive, I think, in my opinion, to take positions. And as long as you focus on what you see value in, then the time will come when you will actually start seeing value in certain stocks and ETFs that are a little bit more consistent. It's just going to take a little bit more time. So yeah. Okay, so SINA. So SINA is definitely showing signs of a little bit being a little bit more overextended. I actually want to take a little bit of a further step back and look at the 1 year chart. Okay, so we can see that it's had a potential support here. It's still actively trending down below the 1 year chart. That's okay. And then I'm going to put the resistance right around like 120. I'm actually going to put it at like 115 just to be a little bit more conservative. Also, do you guys see that last time, or within the 1 year chart, this SMA line used to act as a support here, here, here? Do you see these pullback confirmations? But then it broke that pattern. Now it's showing more of a reversal. So that's something that we're going to want to take into consideration on when it tries to recover, that this might be acting as a resistance. So looking a little bit closer now on the 180-day chart, also watch out for earnings. Yes, it does have potential to reverse. I would wait out for earnings for it to actually confirm that. I actually really like this pattern as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my alert for when it actually starts actively trending up a little bit more aggressively. And then I'm also add it to my general watch list, which is just my pool of stocks. So thank you again for that call out. I really do appreciate it. It has to be one of the better call outs so far, at least in my opinion. Again, we all see value in different ways. So AYX, a very consistent uptrend pattern. Had a pretty aggressive sell-off. Watch out for the earnings. It's trying to push up. Great. I definitely do see value. So it's a little bit more volatile than what I'm comfortable with. So I wouldn't go in very aggressive with my position. Volume must be a little low. Yeah, it's not too low. It's a little bit overextended intraday, so I wouldn't find that to be the best deal as of now. But yeah, it's had one green day, so let's just take that into consideration on why pullback confirmation or break of highs would be something that might be important to wait out for. So what I mean by that is today's the first green day. We might want to wait for a pullback confirmation, but sometimes not all stocks pull back. Or so what we can wait for is for it to make higher highs. So to confirm that it's going to continue to rally. So just something to take into consideration. Z just went at or above 51.17. So just an alert. There we go. And there it goes. It's starting to actively push up. It's very close to its earnings. So just something that we want to take into consideration. ENPH. I think we've broken that one down like yesterday. Yeah, so ENPH is actively trending up. It bounced at the SMA line just like it's done multiple times before. Earnings already played out, so that's great. And then previous resistance at around $5. It's starting to actively trend up. So as long as you believe in that pattern and it makes sense to you and you understand it, then great. I'm actually going to add this one to my active uptrend watch list because I actually really like this pattern. So again, another great reminder. Let's see. All right, I'm done breaking down stocks. After a while, I get a little not annoyed, but just it's the same thing over and over again. I can actually go through my watch list of all the stocks that I have. I think I have about like 50 in my desktop watch list. I have about 50 stocks, and I can probably get through those in about 5 to 10 minutes. But it's just because I don't have to like really like break it down all you know in depth, I can have a general understanding. But yeah, so /CL is definitely showing signs of a curling pattern. So great call out on that. But again, what I'm kind of waiting out for is for Gush to actually break below $30, and it has not actually broken below $30. It's still showing a lot of consolidation. It is showing signs of this more potential, more prominent reversal, but not yet. So just something that we want to take into consideration. So I'm just going to leave this here because I'm going to be breaking that down. Where we at? A little bit over 1300. Yep. So I'm sounding like a broken record today, Ricky. But how's JNAG trending up? Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that multiple times before, Garrett. So that's a good question. So again, that's why I've made it clear before that um, that /GC can act as a correlation as an influence on something like JNEG as well. But it's not an exact correlation. Sometimes you do see it still trending down, and then you see JNEG still pushing up. So it's happened still multiple times. So if you guys have been trading with us for a while, we've been able to talk about that, I think maybe like 5-6 months ago. So yeah, that's why it's still important to understand the specific pattern for the specific ETF that you're trading, because that's what I would like to focus on more, and then take into consideration the different futures that are being put out there. So thanks for being a killer mentor. Enjoy your Cali trip and have a good one. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. Yeah, so I think I actually just explained this. So what should I do if the stock doesn't have a red day and bounces off the EMA and just continues scaling? So you wait for it to make new highs or wait for higher highs. So you wait, yeah, exactly. So you just wait for higher highs and for it to continue that uptrend. So if it does pull back a little bit, but then if it continues to rally, as long as you see that that's been a previous pattern before, then you can have the understanding that that's kind of the characteristic of that trade of that stock. So. No, 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 nothing like that. So, uh, yeah, I mean, I like breaking down stocks for you guys, and I love breaking them down because then I come across and I remind myself about a series of stocks that are actively trading up, which then I can end up taking positions on. So it makes me stay more relevant as well with my overall watch list. So, but yeah, I don't know. Not that I know of. I have because I've had assumptions before where I've tried to predict earnings, and even if they do end up hitting their earnings, just because of overall expectations and company guidance can be off, it still can pull back. So that's why I'm not for it. So I just don't hold it over earnings. How old are you? I'm 23. I think it says it on the course website. So why does the SMA move in different views? Because it's based on the time frame that you have. So it's based on the not the actual time frame, but the hour, the candles length. Okay. Yeah. So Adriana is saying 23. Yep. Yep. All right. Yeah. So that's why in yesterday's video, when you guys asked me, hey, can you guys make more video or talk about so patience, 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 LBV taught me so much. I like that. So, but yeah, when you guys started asking me to make more videos talking about percentage growth and not so much about dollar value, I hope that you guys saw in yesterday's video, like I tried to implement it right away and talk about what the percentage potential growth that USLV has to offer, and then how that correlates on over to dollar value. So characteristics, that's the word I've been looking for. How did you get the SMA line on your TOS? That is actually covered in the course, guys. And this is so. Thank you again, Brandon. I really do appreciate that. You guys are too nice today. But I'm gonna end the live stream here. And this is just a friendly reminder and Zaid. I don't know if that's actually how you pronounce your name. So this youngster here. What I want to remind you is for all those that are watching, if you guys can do me the biggest favor, and okay, so we have two rules that we really want to focus on, right? And it is that you complete the entire course. The reason why is just imagine the couple thousand members that we have within the Learn Plan Profit community, and if we all have the same understanding that I do of the stock market, and then think about how then every single, because everyone is encouraged on either Sunday or Monday to, under the group alert section for the Discord app, to share your top stock. So just imagine everyone just picking one stock that they see value in, but that all understands how important it is to focus on quality. The overall quality information and stocks that are going to be called out should be great, right? And that's the goal. That's the goal for everyone. So I need you to complete the entire course to improve the overall quality of questions and information being shared. You asking a series of questions like this show me that you have not completed the course, and therefore that's why the course is out there. Dedicate 2 weeks, work on the course itself, and then gather up a series of questions, and then join us for one of these live streams, and feel free to tune on in. So that would be my first encouragement. The second thing is to always do your own due diligence, and as you're learning new things, start testing it out. And if you need to ask me a question, again, not only do you have me, not only do you have Justin to reach out to, but now I implemented the LPP team, which are a group of individuals that I'm working with to answer some of these like course questions of like how to navigate through the course, the affiliate link, and stuff like that. So all technical analysis still things should be sent out to me. Any questions about like the course or payouts and stuff like that should be sent out to Justin and or to the LPP team. So. Yeah, and Jamila, I'm saying 2 weeks. The reason that I'm saying 2 weeks is because if you dedicate maybe like 30 minutes a day or 20 minutes a day throughout like a 5-day period, then you can complete the course within like a 2-week period and taking it at a very gradual pace. So that's really just it. I want it to be effective. I want you guys, while you guys are learning, that you guys are testing out the waters. But again, a lot of these questions that you might have are probably already covered in the course. And if they're not, then you can send out a suggested video to either me, Justin, or the LPP team, and they will reach out to me, and then I'll push that video out there if I think that it could benefit the overall community. So that is really just it. So Peter saying, you're an amazing teacher from areas in the best. Appreciate that. I understand. So yeah. So I still have my SMA line at the same length. You can see the overall length of my SMA right here. It shows to be at a length of 180. So yeah. So that is actually something about like paying yourself. I don't think I actually have a video on that in the course because it's different for everyone. My goal was like when I first started was like to get over like the 25K mark, and because my account can be based on margin and stuff like that, like I don't need the full 25K or anything like that, so or I don't need anything over really 25K. So normally what I've done, I think I've said it before, every time, like every month at the end of the month, if I'm over 25K, then I bring my money back and I pay myself whatever I'm over. If my overall account value is like 32,000, then I'll pay myself $7,000 for that month, and I'll put myself back to 25,000, and then continue trading from there. So, yeah. So just made $300 on Snap. Thank you, Ricky. Wow, crazy. I like that. You're the man. Yep, I agree. So just rewatching the course has been pretty effective for a lot of people. I like that. Actually, different time frames for different tickers to see what shows the patterns best. Exactly. Thank you again, Marco. And that's really just it, guys. So I actually have to prepare for my flight. Shoot, I'm not even like prepared really. yeah, but I'm gonna have to fly out from LAX today. I think I'm gonna try to film a video for the Tech Bud Solutions team, but I'm gonna pack and get everything ready first, and then that's really just it. So, who does my taxes? I have a CPA. Thank you guys again for everything it is that you guys do. If you guys, if you guys have any questions or anything like that, please feel free to direct message me. Again, please work and try to work on completing the course. And just again, make sure that we focus on quality and make sure that we focus like on patience and overall confirmation. I think like if you guys have ever noticed like and take this into consideration, the times that we've made the most money or where we have felt the most comfortable and stuff like that has been where we're really patient. We understand what it is that we're taking a position on, and we kind of let the patterns do the talking, right? So I would focus more on that. So yeah, just continue working hard, continue following your dreams, and if there's anything that I can do, then let your passion be your judge in your success. How long does it take you to pack one backpack? I actually just had like underwear and a t-shirt and some socks in there. I was only here for a day. So yeah, I'm pretty minimalistic when it comes to that. So I don't know if that was too much information to share, but I do apologize if it was. So I hope you guys all have an amazing rest of your day. And let's just keep it simple, team. Happy Wednesday, and we'll see you guys in a bit. Take care.